Hello again, everybody. I'm Paul the Nitro Skywars. Welcome back to part 2 of the Nitro Corner. Time to get into some analysis. So without any further ado, let's begin. We begin with James Elmsworth. Like I said, I am a huge fan of James Elmsworth. What a breath of fresh air. He's bringing me back to being excited again as a wrestling fan. No chin music. The man comes out of a chin lock because he is barely a chin, but nonetheless, James Elmsworth is a breath of fresh air. 2-0 against AJ Styles. Please do not screw up this angle. This is gold. This is gold. This guy knows what he's doing. Sign him. He's gold. He's a merchandising machine here. His t-shirts are probably selling out right now. Just a simple t-shirt with his picture on it, 25 bucks. They're buying them by the truckload, people. He is a breath of fresh air. He is gold. He is money. WWE, don't screw this one up. James Elmsworth is your ticket to success. Next up, I want to talk about Hell in a Cell. As I mentioned before, I'll have the results for Hell in a Cell in the next episode of the Nitro Corner. But I want to talk about Sasha Banks versus Charlotte inside Hell in a Cell. Women's wrestling is definitely being taken to the next level. I have seen cage matches involving women's wrestling before. I think Peggy Lee Leather versus Wendy Richter would be a good example back in the 80s in Puerto Rico, I believe, where that match took place. So it has happened before, but this is Hell in a Cell, and it's a women's match between two of the very best women's wrestlers in the world right now, in one of the most heated rivalries I've seen in a long time. What a perfect scenario for Hell in a Cell. I am so looking forward to this, and please, WWE, put it in the main event. That's your money right there. Put it in the main event of the evening. That is your main event right there, and I'm telling you, they'll be talking about it for years to come. This is one of the most exciting women's matches I'll ever see, and may even top Sasha Banks versus Bayley at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, and that's saying a lot. Next up, Bill Goldberg. Is this Raw's answer for SmackDown? Really? Is this your answer? Bill Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar at the Survivor Series, a WrestleMania 20 rematch. Come on, I'm sorry, no disrespect to Bill Goldberg, but can he wrestle? Has he lost some of his skill? I know he may be rusty, but really, Bill Goldberg, it's not working with me. It's not. I'm sorry, no disrespect to Bill Goldberg. If he proves me wrong, fine, he'll prove me wrong, but if this is your answer to SmackDown Raw, then you're getting a little bit desperate here for attention. At least SmackDown focuses on its wrestlers. Raw has Goldberg. No offense to Bill Goldberg, but that's not how Raw should answer to SmackDown. So, no, I'm not in agreement with that. And that's the WWE analysis for this month. Moving on to Ring of Honor, Jay Lethal. One down, Adam Cole to go. Yes, he defeated Naito at the All-Star Extravaganza, and now he has his sights set on Adam Cole, and it seems like now he is refocused on regaining the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight title, and that's important to Jay Lethal. Now his focus is on the right direction. To strip the Bullet Club of all its power, you gotta take the gold. That's where the power is. And that's what Jay Lethal will try to do November 8th in London, England. Can't wait to see the match. I think Jay Lethal may be once again the man to beat Adam Cole to become Ring of Honor World Champion. Can't wait for that one. Next up, let me talk about the Bullet Club. Will they self-destruct like the NWO? No. Here's why. I think ego-wise, they got their egos, but they keep it in check. Everyone has their place. Everyone has their role. And there's equal distribution around amongst the titles if Hangman Page can win the world's television title from Bobby Fish. I think that they'll keep their egos in check. They are so over in Japan. They're now over in Ring of Honor. I think they may not self-destruct. I think this may be a long time coming for the Bullet Club. They will rise to power as probably one of the premier factions in professional wrestling. If they take over the NWO spot in history, great. We'll see what happens down the road. And finally, I want to talk about Women Honor. I think they should get more TV time. I understand they're on the internet and on YouTube, but sometimes people don't go to YouTube. They watch wrestling on television like I do, as well as the YouTube. But I think the Women of Honor need to go to the television now. Maybe devote like an hour every other week to Women of Honor, or start your own program, the Women of Honor. Women's wrestling has really grown over the past 5 years, and now this revolution has come about. I think it's time for Ring of Honor to cash it in, because these Women of Honor deserve television time. I think they'll give the Raw Women's Division, as well as the SmackDown Women's Division, a definite run for the money. They should get more television time as far as I'm concerned. That's it for my Ring of Honor analysis, and that's my total analysis for this month. Time now for Time Machine. Just a quick note, there'll be no trivia time with this episode. I'll have the answers to the the previous Nitro Corners trivia time, which dated back to 10/8. Or October the 8th. I'll reveal the answers to those trivia time questions this coming weekend on the Delaware Pro Wrestling Report. I'll bring back trivia time on the next episode of the Nitro Corner. With that in mind, let's go to Time Machine. For the dates of October 1st to the 31st, that's the time period. Here we go. The WWE. October 15th, 1981 in Highland Park, New Jersey at the high school gym. WWF Tag Team Champions Rick Martel and Tony Garea fought Mr. Fuji and Mr. Saito to a double disqualification. Meanwhile, in the NWA, back on October 30th, 1983 in Charlotte, North Carolina at the Coliseum, Nature Boy Ric Flair defeated Bob Orton Jr. And in the Georgia Championship Wrestling on their television show, October 23rd, 1971, Bob Armstrong defeated Big Bad John by disqualification. That's your Time Machine for this month. And that's it for this episode of the Nitro Corner. As I promised you, here's my announcement about a special presentation. The Nitro Corner will return on November the 19th. Regular episode of the Nitro Corner, November 19th. I'll bring back trivia time on the Nitro Corner. Now, Thanksgiving week, November 24th. To November 27th, it is our second annual Nitro Corner Thanksgiving Marathon. That's right, 3 days, actually 4 days, of some of the best wrestling action from the annals, the history of professional wrestling. I'll come ahead with some good ones this time for that Thanksgiving Marathon, the Nitro Corner Thanksgiving Marathon, November 24th to the 27th. Well, that's it for this edition of the Nitro Corner. Thank you so very much for joining us. Until next time, I'm Paul the Nitro Skyver saying, so long everybody. Enjoy Hell in a Cell tonight on pay-per-view. So long everybody.